I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Yes? Is this personal, Judge? All right. Give me 30 minutes.
Mac, here's an order appointing you to represent Peter Thomason in the Hightower murder case.
Gee, Nelson's the public defender.
He called an hour ago with a conflict of interest with one of the government witnesses. Now, if there's a conviction, I can't risk a habeas corpus down the road from some bleeding heart lawyer based on ineffective assistance of counsel.
I'm retired.
No, you quit. But last I checked, you still have a law license and you still live in my district.
Let someone else make a name for themselves.
I can't appoint someone who's only handled a few no-low pleas in traffic court to a murder charge. I can order you to do this. When you gonna start living again, Mac? There would have been a time when you would have asked me to order you.
I'm not that lawyer anymore.
Talk with Gene and meet with the defendant and come see me Monday morning.
Hey, Gene, you got a minute? The judge wants me to speak to Peter Thomason.
I thought you retired.
Yeah, well, what can you tell me about the case?
Well, they found the girl in the car, but she didn't die from the accident. She was strangled. Cops found Thomason wandering around the scene with the keys in his pocket. He was doped up, claims he can't remember anything.
Any witnesses?
Not to the murder. Police report mentions a guy in a pickup saw the girl's Porsche heading up the mountain.
Anything else?
Joe Whetstone just made an offer.
Joe Whetstone.
Alex Hightower didn't trust the local DA to do a good job, so he hired Whetstone as special prosecutor.
What's the offer?
25 years to serve. Thomason will be younger than you when he gets out.
Yeah. Does Thomason know about the offer?
Not yet. Getting him to take a plea would be a lot easier for you than convincing the jury to let him go.
Yeah.
He'd be a fool if he doesn't take the deal. This case is a dog.
Peter? Mac McLean.
It's Pete.
Okay, Pete. The public defender that was going to represent you has a conflict of interest and can't handle the case. The judge has asked me to take it. The prosecution has made an offer, 25 years, which at your age is a lot better than life.
25 years?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to say I'm guilty?
Yep.
No way. I didn't do it.
Did you make a statement to the police?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I remember picking Angela up and taking her to dinner. The next thing I remember is a camera flashing a bright light when they took my picture here.
Did you take any drugs?
No.
Then can you explain why there were drugs in your system?
No.
Right. One last question. How can you say you're innocent if you don't remember anything?
Because you don't kill someone that you love.
Do you need anything?
There's not a lot to do here. Think somebody can go get some books in my apartment?
Make a list.
What do you want?
Judge Danielson wants me to defend a murder case.
You're in no shape to handle a murder case.
He thinks I am.
Judge Danielson's been on the bench too long.
There's a plea offer. I went to the jail and spoke to the defendant. He doesn't want to take it. Claims he would have never done anything to hurt her.
That's convincing.
He reminds me of my son,
Which one?
Zach. Something about the look in his eyes, the way he talks.
That's no reason to get involved. You're not the only one that lost Laura and the boys. She was my sister. So whatever reasons you got to help this kid, whoever he reminds you of, will not fix you, will not bring them back. Mac. Sausage biscuits. You're getting too skinny.
Come in.
I'll do it.
Here's your order. Try to file any additional motions as soon as you can.
Oh. Can I get an advance to pay an assistant?
You bet.
Hire an investigator.
You got it. After this is over, I'll let you rest in peace.
Looks like you're having fun.
Oh, yeah. About as much fun as when I got braces.
Well, why don't you come back to work for me?
You're retired.
Yeah. But the judge has made me an offer I can't refuse.
Am I getting paid?
Yes. But I can't promise you one of those aprons.
Hey, Mindy, can you clean this up?
Don't say too much or you'll talk me out of it.
All right. Any questions?
Yes. Did he kill her?
Well, you know that's the wrong question.
What is the evidence?
Well, that's what you two are going to help me find out. Pete Thomason says he doesn't remember anything. We need an expert to shrink his head and find out what's in it.
Have you guys ever heard of Dr. Anna Wilkes?
No?
Well, Mike Bender in Rossville says she has a good reputation with their judges and she stands her ground in court.
Well, get some references and set up an appointment.
Will do.
The jury reads the newspaper. We need to make our own press release.
Well, my boyfriend Eddie can do it. He works for the paper.
Your boyfriend, Eddie, is not the sharpest tool in the shed. You write it. Make it sound like me.
Well, that should be exciting.
Gene Nelson's file is a mess. I want you to go through it and tab anything you think is important.
Okay.
Reasonable doubt. What does that mean?
A reason why he's not guilty.
Exactly. Right now, this piece of paper is empty. Before we go to trial, I want it to be full.
Okay.
There's over 100 people on this witness list, a bunch of them from his Marine Corps unit. You want me to run them all down?
No, that's a prosecutor's trick to try to wear us out. We're not going to let that happen. I want you to start here. Rodney McFarland. He's the guy who said he saw Angela's car on the road. He lives up on Grassy Mountain. After that, I want you to speak to Angela's college friends, see if they know anything, all right? Joe Whetstone is a formidable opponent. He's a good prosecutor with the power of the state behind him. He's going to try to steamroll us and our client, but we're not going to let that happen. All right? Let's get to work.
Welcome, everyone. It's great to see you. Who wants to help me pass these out?
Thank you.
So I'll take a seat. All right. Why don't we get started? So, did anybody face a struggle this week that they'd be willing to share?
I went to the grocery store with a friend, and I saw a box of Jody's favorite cookies, and I burst into tears, and I ran out of the store. I'm sorry, it was very embarrassing.
You may have felt embarrassed, but moments like that are gonna happen. Grief is like a river. You can't dam it up, and you can't make it go faster. You just have to allow God to take you at his pace. All right, take care, you guys. See you next time.
Interesting meeting. What's your goal?
There's a time to mourn and a time to heal. We provide a time and a place for healing.
What's your success rate?
Well, when you try to do it by yourself, not so good. When you ask God for help, the odds go up.
I think I need something more tangible.
I can't think of anything more tangible.
Mac McLean, my assistant called you?
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. I'm Anna.
Nice to meet you. Have you heard about the case?
Just what I've read in the paper.
Well, my client claims he can't remember anything. I need to find out if he's suffering from amnesia. I'd also like you to tell me if you think he's competent to stand trial.
When will you need my report?
As soon as possible. Sorry for the rush, but
It's okay. When someone's life is at stake, I'll make time.
that's very kind of you.
Howdy. You Rodney McFarland?
Yeah, that'd be me. What you selling, son?
Nothing. I'm Ray Morrison. I work for a lawyer. I'm doing a little investigating on the night that your truck got run off the road in Denison Springs.
Lawyer, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't hurt. I ain't injured, you know, so you can go back, you and your boss, and chase some other ambulance. I don't really...
No, he's not that kind of lawyer. I just need to speak to you for a few minutes.
Well, what is it you think we've been doing here, son? There we go. You saw me dip this in that bucket. Take you a little sip of that. You'll like it. That's good. Little sip now. Don't drink it. Go ahead. It's good. There she is.
You're right. Beautiful truck.
Yeah, she's a sweetie. She's pretty. I bought her brand new on the lot in Blue Ridge. You ever been to Blue Ridge?
No, I haven't. What happened here?
Well, now that happened the night my daughter was having her baby. I was in the truck headed over the mountain, getting there as fast as I could, trying to get there in time, you know, and I was making good time. Lord have mercy, this thing will flat get up and go. Look at these tires. See there? Never buy foreign tires, Ray. I always buy American. Everything on this whole hill back here is made in the USA, except for my clock. I bought a radio clock. General Electric, thinking it's made in Pennsylvania, got it home, a dang thing said made in Taiwan on the bottom. You believe that?
So, you were making good time.
I was making good time. It was about midnight. I looked around the bend. Here come two cars headed right for me.
Two cars?
Aimed right at me, both of them. One was a yellow car. The other one was a kind of a dark purple.
This color?
Yes, sir, that color right there. This one was tailing the yellow car, and I reckon them boys thought they owned the road, both of them. But when the yellow car run me off the road, I reckon the purple car sideswiped me. I didn't know I'd even been hit until I got home.
You didn't tell the police about the other car?
No, like I said, didn't even know I'd been hit until next day.
Could you tell who was driving either car?
No, sir, never saw him. You know, it happened so fast.
Yeah, always does. Now, you saw me take this chip of paint right from here and put it in this bottle, didn't you, Mr. McFarland?
Well, I reckon I did, son. I'm standing right here. Close enough to you to spit on your shoe.
Appreciate you not doing that.
She had a significant amount of roofies in her system.
Roofies?
Or Hypnol. It knocks out.
Anything else?
No, just a little bit of alcohol.
What about Thomason?
A small amount of alcohol, a whole lot of amphetamines.
Doesn't Rohypnol cause memory loss?
Yeah, that's why men give it to women.
Did you test Thomason's blood for Rohypnol?
Mm-mm.
Would you do that, please? Get me the results as soon as you can.
Yeah.
You don't think he could have got a scratch in a grocery store parking lot?
This guy doesn't go to the grocery store. He's got enough squirrels and rabbits on that hilltop of his.
You believe him?
Mac, we drank from the same tin cup. We're practically kinfolk by now. I'll get this to a lab, see what they can tell us.
We need to find that car. I'll be right back. Hey, Mac.
Good to see you. So, did Jean tell you about the plea offer?
Yeah.
You get the same deal.
Why should we take it?
I bet you got enough in Jean's file you can answer that. Oh, by the way, your client in our last case, did he ever get out of prison? Talk to Mr. Thomason. He should take the deal.
How many years did your other client get?
35 years.
Did he turn down the plea offer?
Yes. 5 years.
All rise. God save the state of Georgia and this honorable court. The Honorable Judge William L. Danielson presiding.
Be seated. We have several motions filed by Mr. McLean seeking information under Brady versus Maryland and the Georgia Criminal Discovery Statute. Mr. Whetstone, what is your response?
3 things, Your Honor. First, I'm delivering to Mr. McLean photographs of Angela Hightower while she was alive and after her death. Second, the state would like to conduct a psychiatric evaluation. I've attached the credentials of Dr. Lewis Newbern.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Yes, Your Honor, one more thing. Based on a review of the facts and circumstances surrounding the murder of Angela Hightower, the state intends to seek the death penalty upon conviction of the defendant.
Death penalty?
Sit down. Your Honor, there is no evidence of aggravating circumstance.
The defendant is guilty of murder committed in conjunction with the crime of kidnapping.
Kidnapping? Miss Hightower agreed to go to dinner with my client.
And a subsequent development rendered her presence with him non-consensual.
There's not enough evidence to support that.
She had rohypnol in her system.
I'm not sure that your theory holds water, Mr. Whetstone, but prosecutorial discretion buys you a little leeway. Now, what this means, gentlemen, is first we will have a trial to determine guilt or innocence. And if the defendant is found guilty, we will move immediately to determine the sentence.
Your Honor, may I have a moment with my client?
Death penalty?
Or 25 years.
That's it. Those are my only 2 options.
You have no memory, no alibi, and no explanation.
I didn't think anyone would come.
Here I am.
I didn't know if it was important or not about the letters. I don't have the letters that she got, but I do know she wrote her dad after the 3rd one. I mean, I just didn't think it was that big of a deal, but then this happened.
Can you show me?
Yeah, I made copies. I mean, there may be more, but she only wrote 2 on my computer. And she was really worried about how her dad would react. I mean, it was her uncle. Spencer, do not call or write again. I do not want to see or talk to you. If I hear one more word from you, I'll tell my dad. I mean it. Get some help. Angela.
You said there was another one to her father.
I didn't know what to do. I hope I did the right thing.
Yes, you did. Do you know whether these were actually sent?
Well, the one to her uncle, I mailed myself. And I don't know about the one to her dad. I mean, she didn't go into all the details. It was just really creepy. I'm really glad you came.
So, money have you dug up about McLean?
He's represented a lot of people in the county over the years. Some who probably couldn't afford to pay. 3 years ago, his wife and 2 sons were killed in a car wreck. It was Christmas Eve. Since then, his practice has been slowly dying. Just recently, he shut his office.
So, we have a lawyer with nothing to lose. It makes him dangerous. I want someone assigned to McLean at all times. But I am sorry to hear about his family.
Well, he understands the nature of the charges, and he's not delusional. He's legally competent.
But
He's depressed.
how depressed?
Severely, I would say clinically. But it doesn't explain the amnesia.
Yeah, what do you make of that?
There are several known causes. Trauma, a blow to the head.
But there were no signs of physical injury.
Right. Another would be long-term drug or alcohol abuse. Despite the presence of amphetamines, he has no history of habitual use.
Which means?
He may be faking.
Yeah.
Have you tested him for Rohypnol too?
Yeah. We're just waiting for the results to come back.
Well, good. Let me know. It could make a huge difference in my report.
Thank you. You think she'll be a good witness?
I believed her.
You could reopen the office. Answer machine. Oh, and one more thing. You could get one of these, too.
She's right about the cell phone.
Spencer is her uncle. He's not much older than she is. Now I know why she didn't like him so much.
This is going to be very helpful for your case. The state psychiatrist is sitting over there. Answer his questions. But remember, he is not your friend, and he is not here to help you. If he gets out of line, we'll be watching. It's all yours, Doctor.
You'll have my report the same day Mr. Whitstone does.
Fair and impartial, I'm sure.
I look forward to seeing you in court. How do you think that's gonna go?
Not good. Never does.
No.
Mr. McLean. Hi. This is Hunter, my son. This is Mr. McLean.
Hunter? Ooh, that's a good grip. How old are you?
10 and a half.
10 and a half. It's a great age.
Would you care to join us?
Okay.
We're starving. We just got back from Jack's River Falls. You've heard of it?
Sure. I used to go there all the time with my boys. There's a great store along the way where you can buy boiled peanuts.
I've never had a boiled peanut.
You never had a boiled peanut? Man, my boy Zach could eat a whole bag of them.
Hunter, why don't you go see what's in the dessert case?
Okay.
Did you get my report?
Yeah, thanks. It's going to be very helpful. But Pete tested negative for hypno.
Really? Why don't you try testing him for GHB? It's a close relative.
GHB. Okay.
They have 3 pieces of peanut butter pie.
Peanut butter pie. I love peanut butter pie, and it's a lot better than boiled peanuts.
These paint chips are from a mid-90s sedan.
Mindy, call the Department of Motor Vehicles, see if you can find a match. In every criminal case, you want to put someone else on trial. That's our man.
Spencer Hightower.
What seems to be the problem?
I need to take a look at the financial records for the Spencer Hightower Trust.
Those are privileged.
Well, Judge Danielson doesn't agree. Dr. Newbern doesn't believe our client. Sociopathic homicidal tendencies.
Well, that didn't surprise me. Let's call Dr. Wilkes. Tell her I'd like to see her as soon as possible.
Okay.
What time will we do back in Atlanta?
Deposition starts at 4:30.
We're not out of there in 15 minutes. Pull the fire alarm.
Put your shoulder back. Good. And bend your knees. Okay, and throw.
She's got you all twisted up like a pretzel. Can't teach baseball from a book. Come here. So just get a good grip on that, and I want you to throw a fastball. Let's see that. Nice. Got another glove?
Yeah.
There you go. That's a nice glove.
It's my dad's. Yeah. He passed away.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay, but I still really miss him.
All right, you want to put some heat on it? All right. There you go.
Let's make this quick. Mr. Hightower?
Bring me up to date.
Well, there's been a change in defense attorneys.
Who is it?
Mac McLean.
Are you sure you can handle it?
Well, I would hope you know the answer to that. Here's a detailed summary outlining our preparations for trial.
Maybe your case. But she was my daughter.
I'm sorry about your husband.
What did Hunter say?
Only that he passed away and that he missed him.
Well, he doesn't know the whole story. It was suicide.
I'm sorry.
Eventually, he's going to ask me questions that I don't know how to explain.
Tell him the truth.
Is that what you tell all your witnesses? I started that group that he came to right after he died. A lot of people need a time and place to heal, including me.
I don't agree with Dr. Newburn's assessment of my client. He said he's a psychotic with homicidal tendencies.
Hey, Mark. Excuse me. Good morning, Counselor.
Mr. Whetstone?
I never heard from you. Of course, I didn't really expect to. I've seen a lot of guys like you over the years. Good men, good attorneys. But they're trying to fix something in themselves by way of their clients. It never works. You're going down with the ship. Deal's off the table for good. This trial is necessary because a beautiful 21-year-old woman is dead. I wish we weren't here today. Mr. Alexander Hightower desperately wishes we weren't here today. Let me speak for Angela. Let me walk you through the events leading up to her murder through her eyes. The defendant had won her trust and the trust of her father. On August 2nd, he came to the Hightower home, spoke briefly with Mr. Hightower, and then took his daughter to Atlanta in her yellow Porsche. Now, I don't know what the defendant and Angela talked about that night. I don't know what they ate at that quiet little Italian restaurant. But I do know she never came home. At some point, the defendant offered Angela something to drink. Might have been a soft drink, a cup of coffee, but whatever it was no ordinary beverage. Because inside that glass or cup were a few drops of a colorless, odorless, tasteless drug called rohypnol. Roofies. As soon as that was in her system, Angela was helpless. And the evidence will show that the defendant took drugs himself on August 2nd. Sometime around midnight, sheriff's deputies responded to a call and found Angela in her car, dead. But she wasn't killed in a car wreck. She was murdered. And the defendant was found at the scene of the crime with the keys to her car in his pocket. Now, is that all the evidence? No. A psychiatrist will give you understanding about the defendant's mental capacity to commit such a horrible crime. Police will piece together the events of August 2nd. And when all the evidence has been presented, I will stand here and I will ask you to do your duty for the state of Georgia, for Angela, and find the defendant guilty of murder.
Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot think of anything more serious than deciding the fate of another human being. When we entered the courtroom this morning, the clock began ticking on an experience that none of us will ever forget. My job is to guide you through this process, not to tell you what to think, not to bully you, but to treat you with the respect that service on this jury deserves. First, please remember what Judge Danielson said. Nothing we lawyers say to you is evidence. Second, I agree with everything that Mr. Whetstone said about Angela Hightower. Her life was cut off before she had a chance to live it, and someone should be brought to justice, and someone should be punished for that crime. However, the evidence will prove that the person most likely responsible for Angela Hightower's death is not in this courtroom. Not yet. Third, the prosecution will present its side of the case first. The book of Proverbs tells us that the first to present his side of the case seems right until another comes forward and questions it. This is wisdom from the ages, and I would ask you to apply it to your responsibilities here today. Thank you.
Proceed with the state's case, Mr. Whetstone.
Your Honor, the state calls Lieutenant Walter Monroe. Please introduce yourself to the jury, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Walter Monroe, United States Marine Corps, currently serving at Parris Island, South Carolina after completing a tour of duty in Iraq.
Well, on behalf of the entire courtroom, I'd like to thank you for your service to our country, Lieutenant. Could you please tell us how you know Peter Thomason, the defendant in this case?
Thomason was in my unit before he received a general discharge.
A general discharge? He didn't receive an honorable discharge?
Oh, objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant.
Your Honor, I can lay the foundation for this.
Overruled. Proceed.
No, sir. According to the records, he did not receive an honorable discharge.
Are these records in your possession?
Your Honor, these records are irrelevant.
Your Honor, these are business records which show prior similar conduct.
Lieutenant, are you the custodian of these records?
Yes, sir. Maintaining these records is part of my duty as a staff officer.
Overruled.
Why did the defendant not receive an honorable discharge?
Gross misconduct involving attempted administration of an illegal substance to a civilian.
And what was that substance?
Rohypnol.
And the gender of the civilian?
Female.
Your Honor, we tender State's Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
I object, Your Honor. Same reasons as before.
Overruled. Admitted.
Your witness.
No questions at this time. You have no idea the impact that this is going to have on the jury. Start talking.
Just after boot camp, I went out one night with Lieutenant Monroe and a buddy named Harry O'Ryan. They met some girls, and I went home early. I guess something happened to the girl's drink because she ended up in the hospital. And Lieutenant Monroe convinced Harry to say that I did it. So I took a general discharge to avoid the court-martial.
Where is this Harry O'Ryan now?
Last I heard, he was out of the court.
You blew it, Mac. Monroe was on my witness list. You should have let me do my job.
And what were the results of your testing for rohypnol in the blood sample from Angela Hightower?
Positive at a clinically significant level.
Which means?
Which means that for a period before death, she would have suffered from the effects I just described.
Disorientation?
Yes.
Impaired judgment?
Yes.
Limited cognitive function?
Yes.
Inability to protect herself?
Yes, she was helpless.
Your witness, Mr. McLean.
Doctor, did you test Mr. Thomason's blood for Rohypnol?
Yes, it was negative.
Have you ever heard of gamma hydroxybutyrate?
Yes. It's not very common. It's known by the initials GHB.
You know how it operates?
Very similar effects as Rohypnol.
Did you test Mr. Thomason's blood from the night of Angela's death for the presence of GHB?
Yes.
What were the results?
It was positive.
So there was disorientation, impaired judgment, limited cognitive function.
Yes.
Pete? Was Pete helpless too?
Yes, he was.
Thank you.
We should have got that one.
You remember Dr. Lewis Newburn's report?
Yeah. The one that said our client was a psychotic with homicidal tendencies.
That's the one. Well, this is a photo Ray took the day he followed Spencer. Guess who Spencer was going to see?
The guy you used to date. The one that lived with his mom. What was his name, Rupert?
No.
Randall?
No.
Rudolph?
No! Dr. Lewis Newburn. And his name was Ronnie, by the way. And his mother was living with him.
Dr. Newburn, where is your office located?
400 West Lenox Street.
And this is where you see your patients?
Yes, except for those in the hospital.
Is Spencer Hightower one of your patients?
No. He's a client.
I thought you saw patients.
I'm his financial advisor, the trustee of a trust set up by his father.
So you control his money?
Just some of it.
How much?
Objection? That is irrelevant.
Sustained.
Are you paid for your advice?
There is a fee authorized by the trust.
And how much is this authorized fee?
Same objection.
Overruled.
Around $50,000. But that had nothing to do with my evaluation of the defendant.
I'm sure it didn't. No further questions, Your Honor.
Harry O'Ryan. Don't run! I'm not a cop! I'm here about Pete Thomason. Relax. I ain't gonna chase you.
Pete's always been a hard luck guy. But this is unbelievable. He's no killer.
Glad to hear you say that.
Yeah. Look, this whole thing with the girls, that was Buster's idea.
Buster?
Lieutenant Monroe. He slipped the girls the drugs. Dropped me off at another bar down the street. Pete wasn't even with us at that point. The girls, they don't remember anything because, well, they were out of it. When things started to go south for Buster, I agreed to back him up. Pete got nailed for it. Look. Buster's still in the Corps. He'll say anything to make sure his record stays clean.
Which is why Pete needs you.
No, man, I don't... Look, I'd like to help and all, but I just don't think so.
He needs your help. If you do this, you will unburden yourself. Give yourself one less thing to chase you.
Well, now it was a warm night that night, and so I had rolled my window down to let some air in, you know, and of course I can spit out of it too, and I don't have to use my spit cup I keep in the front seat.
How fast were you traveling, Rodney?
Well, Judge, I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, I was speeding. I was going too fast that night. Now I had a good excuse. I was trying to get to the hospital. My daughter's having her baby, and I was going just a little too fast, I reckon. But now I'm a good driver. I'm a good driver. I ain't had a ticket since 1958, and you can look that up. That's on the record. You can ask anybody. But that night, yeah, I was going a little too fast. I had too much truck. It's that old 71 I had, and Ross Weatherford sold me that thing over brand new. I paid too much money for it, too. It was just too much trouble.
Mr. McFarland, could you tell us what caused you to run off the road that night?
Well, it is that yellow car followed by that purple car.
And how close was the purple car to the yellow Porsche?
Oh, son, if he'd been any closer, he could have hooked on bumpers for a free tow. I mean, he was in his hip pocket, you know. And Judge, another thing about that purple car, he hit my truck that night, and as of yet, ain't nobody stepped up to pay for it. I'm waiting.
Thank you, Mr. McFarland. No more questions. Can you tell us what tests you performed, Dr. Wilkes?
WAIS IQ testing, Rorschach, Beck's depression inventory, and general achievement testing.
And have you read Dr. Newburn's evaluation?
I have.
What's your opinion about the validity of his report?
I disagree with its findings. Mr. Thomason is not a sociopath. He's depressed.
And how is your report different from Dr. Newburn's?
My evaluation is based on objective testing and a clinical interview. Dr. Newburn's opinion is based solely on one brief interview.
Thank you. Your witness.
Ms. Wilkes, who hired you in this case?
Excuse me, Your Honor. It's Dr. Wilkes.
The witness has been qualified as an expert.
Dr. Wilkes.
I was contacted by Mr. McLean's office.
Would it be fair to say that your contact with Mr. McLean has gone beyond the professional?
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant.
He's got her on cross. Overruled. The witness will answer the question.
Of course not.
Your Honor, these photographs were previously entered into evidence. Permission to publish?
Right.
Could you tell the jury what's going on in this picture?
Mr. McLean and I are sharing a piece of peanut butter pie.
Was it good?
Yeah, if you like peanut butter.
And, what about this one?
That's Mr. McLean in front of my house. I have a home office.
Did you do anything besides talk about this case?
He played catch with my son. We drank coffee.
Don't you think this jury should be concerned about the neutrality of your opinion?
Not at all. Mr. McLean is a fine man, but my opinion on his client is based on testing.
I'm sure it is.
Pete had nothing to do with this. He was already back at the base.
Harry, can you tell the court why you wanted to come forward today?
Tell the truth.
Well, when I heard that Pete had been charged with murder and that Lieutenant Monroe was testifying against him, I knew that I had to come forward, clear the record. I guess I was just tired of having this follow me around.
Thank you. No more questions? Your witness.
Mr. O'Ryan, how many different stories have you told about what happened that night?
At least 2.
And in both versions, you didn't do anything wrong, did you?
You mean besides not telling the truth?
Well, you've had some problems in the past with telling the truth, haven't you? I mean, for instance, if you write a bad check, well, that's a lie, isn't it? I mean, you're saying you have money in the bank that you don't have.
No, not exactly.
Are you the same Harry O'Ryan convicted of writing bad checks to convenience stores, gas stations, and liquor stores in Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Georgia?
Yes.
Do you know how many false writings are represented in these pages?
No.
Well, would you be interested in learning that you've written 137 bad checks during the past 2.5 years, resulting in 13 arrest warrants in 4 different states?
I've made some mistakes.
Would you like to add perjury to the list of crimes you call mistakes?
Objection.
Withdrawn.
I'm ready. And I see why you wanted me to go last. Because now that I've heard everybody else, I think it's going to help me a lot.
Unless you can think of something else, you're not going to testify.
Why? I'll tell the truth.
What? That you loved her and that you can't remember anything?
If you look dumb, Joe Whetstone will make you look guilty. We have a chance to win this. I want the last thing the jury sees and hears is to be Spencer Hightower's face and what he has to say. The defense would like to call Alexander Hightower to the stand, Your Honor.
Mr. Hightower, would you read this to the jury, please?
Whole thing?
Yes, the whole thing.
Dear Dad, I don't know how to tell you this except to come out and say it. Spencer has been bothering me. He's been writing me letters saying things he shouldn't say and asking if he could come visit me here at school. I called him and told him to stop, but he won't leave me alone. Over Christmas break, he made a pass at me. I slapped him and he got mad, and I hope that was the end of it. He won't stop calling. He won't stop bothering me. You have to make him get some help. He is scaring me. Please, please make it end. I know you'll take care of it, Dad. Love, Angela.
Did you receive this letter, Mr. Hightower?
I did not.
Do you wish you had?
Oh, yeah.
No further questions.
Mr. Hightower, who was the last person you saw with Angela?
the defendant when he picked her up.
And do you know where your brother Spencer was that night?
He was with me.
No more questions, Your Honor. Mr. Hightower has suffered enough.
Mr. Hightower, you may step down.
The defense calls Spencer Hightower to the stand. Mr. Hightower, would you read this to the jury, please?
Spencer, do not call or write again. I do not want to see or talk to you. If I hear one more word from you, I'll tell my dad. I mean it. Get some help. Angela.
Did you receive that letter?
Yeah.
Sounds like Angela was quite upset with you, doesn't it?
I don't know.
She was tired of you harassing her, wasn't she?
It was a misunderstanding. I didn't harass her.
Did she slap you at a Christmas party?
It was more of a push.
Push? Why would she have to push you? What were you trying to do?
Nothing. It was no big deal.
No big deal. Is that how Angela would have phrased it? That it was no big deal?
I don't know. Why don't you ask her?
And we can't do that, can we, Mr. Hightower? Mr. Hightower, this is a bank statement from your personal trust. Would it surprise you to know that there was a $50,000 cash withdrawal 2 days before the death of Angela?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness's bank records are irrelevant.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Are you a wealthy man, Mr. Hightower?
Well, it depends on who you compare me to.
How about if we compare you to most people in Ochota County?
Most people from Ochota County live in trailers.
Are you trying to be funny?
Listen, Mr. McDonald, or whatever your name is, I shouldn't be here answering your stupid question.
You're here because Mr. McLean called you as a witness, and you will answer every single one of his questions unless I instruct you to do otherwise. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you hire someone to kill Angela?
That's a stupid question. But the answer is no.
Did you drug Angela and Pete to make it look like he was responsible?
No.
No more questions.
Thank you.
Reasonable doubt. 2 words we rarely use in everyday conversation. Let me tell you what it means. Some portion of your mind may suspect Peter Thomason is guilty. But if, after considering all the evidence, you remain wavering and unsettled, it is your duty to give Pete the benefit of the doubt and find him not guilty of these charges. In my opening statement, I said the person most likely responsible for the murder
of Angela Hightower was not in this courtroom. Now you know why I made that statement. I'm not here to prosecute Spencer Hightower. That is a case for another day, and I trust that day comes soon. Mr. Whetstone is going to speak to you after I finish. Listen to him carefully. That's right, listen to him carefully. And then ask yourself if he has answered to your satisfaction each and every one of the grounds for reasonable doubt. He can't do it. Because the truth is, Peter Thomason did not kill Angela Hightower. And I ask you, on his behalf, to find him not guilty. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the technique used by the defendant and his lawyer against these charges is called a red herring defense. Now, a red herring is a fish that protects its eggs from predators by darting in front of the enemy and diverting attention from where the eggs are hidden. In this trial, the defendant views you as the enemy because you have the power to take away his freedom. He's desperate, and he has resorted to skillful measures in order to distract you from your rightful goal. The red herring is a very smart fish. Mr. McLean is a very smart lawyer. Every one of the defenses that Mr. McLean has raised is a red herring, calculated to keep you from focusing on the evidence. Use your common sense. The defendant was captured by the police at the scene of the crime. He is the only person who had the opportunity and the motive to have murdered Angela. Peter Thomason is a predator with a history. We all wish Angela could be with us today, but she can't. On Angela's behalf, I have complete confidence in your ability to render the only just verdict possible in this case, a verdict of guilty.
Court is adjourned until Monday morning at 9 a.m.
What do you think they'll decide? Is it a good jury?
If I can get one on my side, I can hang it. If I can get three, they'll convince the rest.
Are you scared?
Yes?
Why?
Because someone's life is in my hands.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Will the defendant please rise? Madam Foreperson, would you please announce the verdict?
We find the defendant, Peter Thomason, guilty of first-degree murder.
The jury will return on Tuesday to commence the sentencing phase of the case. Court is adjourned.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
He reminds me of my son.
Death penalty.
For 25 years.
Those were my only two options.
When you gonna start living again, Mac?
I heard you say that grief was like a river. Well, if that's the case, then I'm drowning. You spend your whole life looking for that special someone. And you find her. You build a life together. You raise two of the greatest kids in the world. And it's all taken away from you. Without your having a chance to even say goodbye. And it's all your fault. How do you come back from that? I want to believe that there is a time and a place to heal. But when is that time and where is that place for me?
When you've come as far as you can by yourself, you let go. And you realize that God has a reason that your life didn't end that night, too.
right before Judge Danielson called me and asked me to take this case. I held a gun in one hand and a bottle of pills in the other. I was trying to decide which way to end my life. That phone call saved me from making a terrible mistake. When you retire to the jury room, I am going to ask you to consider one word in deciding Pete's fate. What is that word? The word I want you to think about is an ordinary word. Standing alone, it doesn't inspire emotion, doesn't pull at the heartstrings. Ladies and gentlemen, the word is life. We live in a world where human life is cheap. People suffer and people starve, and nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. But as a member of this jury, you are part of a system of justice that affirms life as inherently valuable, a gift from God that should not be taken away except in the most extraordinary circumstances. What I know now, and what I didn't know when I held that gun and those pills in my hand, is that life has value. No matter how dark the past or tortured the present. Ladies and gentlemen, you have two choices before you. Life or death. I ask you to choose life.
For you.
Oh,
Cell phone.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I think.
Jury's in.
Have you reached a decision?
Yes, sir, we have.
Will the defendant please rise? Madam Foreperson, would you please announce the decision?
We recommend a life sentence with the possibility of parole.
Don't worry.
Hey, Mac. I'm glad you didn't pull the trigger.
This isn't over. I'm going to file a motion for a new trial. We're going to keep digging.
Did you discover something?
5 of the companies that received money from the trust all have the same president.
Spencer.
No. Dr. Lewis Newbern. Now, why would Spencer set Dr. Newbern up as head of a bunch of dummy companies?
That's a good question. Let's get subpoenas for detailed records on all 5 companies and serve Newbern before the end of the day.
I bet that doctor knows more about what's going on with Spencer than he's admitted.
I bet you're right.
For Mac McLean, have a nice day.
She's a beauty. Just put her out.
What can you tell me about her?
One owner, low miles.
Other than those minor scratches there in the front, she's in perfect condition.
You handle the trade-in?
Sure did. Guy wanted to trade it in for something he could take off road with instead. This baby's built to be king of the highway, not slogging through a mud hole. She's got power.
One condition. I'd like to speak with the original owner.
We don't normally.
I got cash in case you want to sling this sled today.
God's sake, don't screw up like you did the last time. Give me about an hour, wait for the call. And go get him.
Yeah. Back here. Dr. Newbern.
I was on the way home, so I brought those records you requested.
Thank you. You can set them down right there.
You got any more coffee?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Newly discovered evidence. Is that what this is?
Maybe. Hey, maybe you could save us a bunch of time and tell us what's inside.
Well, that I'm the president of each of the companies.
Who are the other shareholders?
Let me ask you a question, Mr. McLean. Are you going to go after Spencer with the evidence I'm giving you?
Whatever it takes to help my client.
I'm sure you will. Have you considered the effect it might have? You see, what concerns me is the effect it might have on me.
Well, just like the bank, you had to answer the subpoena.
You know, you're a slick lawyer, Mr. McLean. But this is one thing you didn't figure out. You see, you're going to ask your questions, and Alex will ask his. And he's going to ask questions that I don't want to answer. You see, Spencer doesn't know about the companies. They weren't set up for him. He has plenty of money.
You embezzled.
Did you know that Alex and Angela both have trusts too? And that upon their deaths, that money is going to flow directly into Spencer's trust, and well, he doesn't keep close tabs on it.
Alex isn't dead.
Not yet. Yeah, come get him. I've done most of your work for you. Well, now, Mr. McLean. Looks like you're going to take a swim. You see, here's what I thought. I thought maybe you got yourself drunk and you fell off the pier after you lost the case. Huh? How's that sound? No? Okay. Better yet, you finally got the nerve to kill yourself. It was suicide. What do you think about that? How do you feel? Disoriented? Impaired judgment? Maybe you don't feel like you're able to protect yourself? That's pretty good for what you got in your system. I don't think so. What are you gonna do with that?
Are you okay?
I'm driving a black sedan. It's parked off the back there.
Hey.
Clare
Here you
Carey.
go. Drink that. You okay?
How you feeling? I found the purple car. It was a Cadillac.
So tell me, Alex, how much of all this you want to know?
All of it.
Well, first, the hitmen slipped something into Angela and Peter's drinks at the restaurant. Then they took them to the ravine where they killed Angela, pushed her car off the cliff, then planted her keys in Thomason's pocket. After the trial, you were going to be next. They found an open-ended ticket to Venezuela in the doctor's car.
So it was all about the money.
He'd been siphoning off millions for years. McLean hadn't kept digging. Who knows what would have happened?
What about Thomas?
Judge signed a motion this morning to dismiss the charges.
Thompson knows McLean a lot.
I think we all do.
Congratulations. How's it feel? Come on, I'll give you a ride home.
life changed. The moment that I stopped asking God why my family was gone and started thanking him that I was still here.